By faith, we understand that the universe has been created by a word from God, so that the visible came into existence from the invisible. Richard Rohr, an American Franciscan friar, talks about God in all things. If God is present in all things, the pew, the dishwasher, your neighbor, your friend, we begin to see that God is in the reflection of all things. And if God is in all things, why would we be doing what we're doing to each other? If we are divinely made and created, as Paul says in his letter to the Hebrews, then we are equally important to the ecosystem that God has engineered. This takes a great deal of faith to believe in such a time as this. The Old Testament prophets, Jesus, even Paul, could see the injustices of the day, and they too have been exhausted, and defeated, weary, sad, maybe even contrite, and yet they kept pushing for what was right. They saw hope. They, at one point or another, even experienced hope. They knew something else was better than what was presented at the time. And right now, the light is so dim, it is hard to see the light of hope. Our ancestors in faith led us through the Exodus and famine, the walk to Golgotha, crucifixion, and even resurrection. And we are different because of it. Each and every time we gather in community, in addition to our unique abilities gathered, we have our unique experience and our unique definitions of faith that become our moral center and shape our character of who we are to be and to become. If God is in all things, what is God saying to us today to inform our faith and to be a witness to the work and word that God offered in Jesus the Christ and in each of us? Well, I think God is saying that love wins, that love overcomes hate, that love is made evident in communities that care and pray and sing and acknowledge one another's existence and who eat together around a simple table. Love wins. Last month, nearly 2,000 United Church of Christ clergy and laity, including 600 delegates, gathered in Kansas City, Missouri, for the denomination's 35th General Synod. The event was a sacred opportunity to reconnect with our collective calling and live more fully into the mission of Jesus Christ today. It was a moment of visible faith through those gathered. In her powerful State of the Church address, General Minister and President Reverend Dr. Karen Georgia Thompson invited the assembly to reflect honestly on who we are and who we are becoming as the United Church of Christ. She acknowledged the weight of shrinking numbers and financial challenges, while also calling for courageous imagination, faithful innovation, and bold engagement with our communities. Her message was a reminder that we aren't simply managing decline. We are discerning how to be the church anew in this moment. We are also blessed by a stirring keynote from Reverend Jennifer Butler, founder of Faith in Public Life, who inspired us with a message of hope and resilience, reminding us that we are built for this moment, whether we'd like to admit it or not. During the Synod, delegates considered and voted on 11 resolutions that reflect our shared values of justice, compassion, and faithful witness in the world. Communion partnerships. 2 historic resolutions established full communion with both the Evangelical Church of the Union in Germany and the Iglesia Evangelica Unida de Puerto Rico. We celebrated ministry. The Synod celebrated 25 years of Our Whole Lives, sexuality education programming, and affirmed its continued ministry. Mental health. A resolution was adopted recognizing the importance of continually evolving language around mental health and encouraging churches to break the stigma. Resolutions around global and domestic justice. The Synod took bold stances on human rights issues, calling for an end to the genocide in Palestine, affirming human rights in the Philippines, and decrying the persecution of Christians in India. The body also called for the restoration of funding to USAID and the Voices of America. A significant act of public witness was the protest against federal attacks on immigrants, migrants, and refugees, which reflected our call to welcome the stranger. And then there's always something about church structure. Another significant vote formally recognized the needs and gifts of small town and rural churches, granting them official standing within the wider church's leadership. Additionally, a resolution to consolidate all 4 UCC conferences in Pennsylvania into a single Keystone Conference passed. Yeah, Bill, that's going to be a big conference. Yeah. While most proposals passed with conviction, not all moved forward, which is the grace of the UCC. We all have an opinion about something. A major change to the UCC's bylaws did not pass, leaving space for continued dialogue and discernment. This proposal was related to governance and oversight issues. I'll tell you about it more if you're really interested. Synod also marked a new beginning with the official calling of Reverend Sherry Preston as the new Associate General Minister. As you recall, Reverend Preston was a member here and was our conference minister. Looking ahead, the next General Synod 36 will take place in Cleveland, Ohio from July 21st to 28th, 2028. Mark your calendars now. And before that, we'll celebrate the UCC's 70th anniversary in 2027. The national ministry seemed even more committed to developing implementation ideas, possibly a toolkit for churches to engage in the resolutions that were passed. And to learn more about all this and more, go to ucc.org or generalsynod.org. The hope is that we may continue to live into these resolutions with courage and compassion in our local ministries, trusting that the church is alive and dynamic and committed to doing God's work in this world. Our work is made alive and even treasured through these actions. It is important and appropriate for me to bring this information about General Synod back to you, the local church. It is a reminder that we are in covenant together. The General Synod speaks to the local church, not for it. However, we need to know what's going on at the national level, as it gives us insight to what's transpiring there, and then how that reflects or perhaps impacts our ministry taking place here. We're all connected. With all of that said, though, faith is the reality of what we hope for, the proof of what we don't see. With all that we have and all that we hold, with all the grief we bear, with all the UCC conferences gathering together through General Synod, or even our conference who gathers for their meeting this week to call a new conference minister, we come knowing the promises seen from a distance will become real, maybe not in our lifetime. However, if we keep hungering for a world better than this, we do not remain complicit. We turn and look into the face of reckless words and dissension and say, not today. Love wins. Hope does exist. And these gatherings remind us of the courage it takes to speak to the injustices of the day, to be consoled in the beauty of faith, and to rejoice in the salvation of the one that keeps on keeping on. And so we too keep on keeping on. May it be so.